Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's December 12th, Monday, 2022. Yeah, what are my thoughts? So it's kind of hard, like I mentioned before, to kind of balance my goals and also making sure that I'm also maintaining the relationships and friendships that I've had and created and maintained thus far in life. And yeah, sometimes it takes some sacrifices, right? Although there wasn't much of a sacrifice, I feel like it's really necessary because at this point in my life, I feel like, at least during the week, because I work from home, I don't get much social interactions outside of the gym, so it's important for me to go out. But I'm also conflicted because going out typically, at least here in American society, going out typically means going out to drink, and alcohol is kind of, it counteracts a lot of my goals and contradicts a lot of my goals in terms of fitness and and wealth and health and a bunch of other things. Basically, you're drinking poison. Let's be 100% honest with me, and with everybody else. And honestly, I've never really been a big drinker. Family hasn't really, my family, I didn't come from a family of big drinkers either, especially because my stepfather was a professional athlete, so he was never a really big drinker and really advocated against it, and showed ways actually to kind of get around being socially pressured to drink, which is nice because I kind of still use that advice today. Maybe I'll talk about it in some other vlog. But yeah, I mean, what's really been on my mind, I mean, it's, you know, the last month of the year, and thinking about goals for 2023. And I'm really considering, honestly, doing a year sober. I'm not sure if I've done a year sober in my 20s, and I think it's something that I want to do just to see if, just to see its effects. I don't think, I've never been the person that needs alcohol to be social. I feel like I've always been a naturally extroverted person, even though I can have spouts of being very introverted and focused on my goals and kind of shut out everybody to my own detriment, honestly. But yeah, cutting out alcohol, I feel like, will probably help me in a lot of other things. And not to mention, it's also pretty expensive. My main concern is its effects on my sleep. I feel like the quality of my sleep has gone down really bad, to levels that I haven't had in probably over 8 years, like in terms of like just the terrible quality of the sleep. And it's funny because I woke up the next day on my friend's couch that I crashed on after we went out to drink, and she told me I was snoring, but I don't remember snoring, and I haven't, at least as far as I know, and I haven't snored in such a long time. And for those of you that don't know, snoring is actually very, very bad for your sleep because it prevents you from getting into the full REM sleep. My science may be off on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what happens when you're snoring. It prevents you from getting that full rest that you need. And so that's super important for me because I'm working out 6 days a week. Like, I'm pushing myself really hard, not only in work but also on side projects that require a lot of mental energy. And yeah, I'm gonna need all the energy that I could possibly muster without, using stimulants like coffee, other illegal stimulants. I don't use any of those, but yeah, I'm not the kind of person that likes to be dependent on many things or anything, to be frank, honestly. But yeah, to try to minimize all that and to try to do it in a natural way. And I feel like I can do that, and I'm gonna do it. So yeah, going forward, like, we'll see what happens and see how he takes. I think some of my biggest concerns are like the social repercussions of it. Like, how will I get away with not drinking? I guess being honest, and maybe in the future, maybe when looking back at this video, I'll be like, so stupid to worry about those kind of things. But honestly, it is a valid concern for me and for a lot of people. Like, hey, what will happen if I say no? And that actually is a good transitionary point to like something else that I kind of wanted to get into. And I feel like a friend said this too, and I always say it around her, and she called me out on it when we were on a trip. And on the trip to New York, I don't remember if I mentioned it in the last vlog, but on the ride back, I said I wanted to take a chill weekend, and said, you say that every weekend. And honestly, like, yeah, maybe she's right. Maybe I need to learn to say no. But to be honest with you, like, I guess maybe the last couple times going out have been away or out of town, so it's really required a lot of effort on my part to kind of go and socialize. And I think maybe if I do go out, I'll probably just stay local, and trying to keep in line with not drinking as much, probably trying to minimize that. Although I have plans to go to the city, but that's to meet up with family, so I couldn't say no. If anything, I'm gonna stay in Friday. I usually like to stay in Fridays. Why? Because it's like a habit that I picked up in college when I played rugby, because our games would be Saturday, so we weren't recommended to go out on Fridays. So that's perfectly fine. I used to stay in, watch, movies, whatever, just keep it low key. And I think that's what I'm going to be doing going forward. And it's kind of my habit already, but I mean, for Saturdays, maybe I also want to be able to take just alone times, maybe even traveling into the city by myself. Like, I did my whole trip to Oktoberfest, and I think that was really enlightening because, one, you kind of rip through the social media facade, or the scripted or very narrow, like, what people want you to see of their trips to like foreign countries or just traveling in general, and you see it for really what it is. And I feel like for people who really have trouble like being by themselves, traveling by yourself is like the equivalent of going from no meditation to going into a sensory deprivation chamber. Like, it's so extreme. But luckily, like, I've always been in a situation where I've been able to be by myself and to think and to just let my thoughts flow, and to be able to be with myself. And I was able to do that in a foreign country, and I kind of want to spend some time exploring, since I do work remotely. Although, like I mentioned before, I'm studying for job interviews potentially, just to keep my skills sharp. I do definitely want to move into a role that allows me to be in the office and interact with my peers. It's just a really important part of my mental well-being and health, I feel like, in general. And also your ability to move up, because I feel like at the end of the day, like, for management, if you're out of sight, you're out of mind, and you kind of get skipped over in promotions, and no matter how much effort you put in or how much work you put in, if it's not being physically seen, it's devalued, right? I feel like what most people don't understand with work from home is that our minds has still not evolved to kind of understand that working from home is equivalent, or maybe you might be working a little bit more. Our minds haven't caught up to the changes in the social structure. And anyways, I like being in the office. I don't really want to be at home, and I want to be able to psychologically change gears from working on, at least work for my day job, work on my side projects, or whatever I choose to do outside of the office. And I think it's healthy to have that balance, because if you don't, you never really shut off, and your mind never turns off that high grind, high stress, dopamine depleting mindset. So we'll see what happens. Going into the city, I think, will also help me, or exploring, even if it's not New York City, just getting out and doing maybe something on my own, and kind of exploring to see what kind of lifestyle I do want to live. I definitely do want to move to the city. At least that's how I feel. Maybe I'm romanticizing it like most people do, with New York City, Paris, or San Francisco, whatever. Like some people romanticize those cities, and I really want to see if that's actually where I want to be. And I have my preconceived notions that I'm more likely to find people that are ambitious, definitely probably true in New York City, and people that are like-minded. I want to be able to grow with the people around me, and I feel like, yeah, definitely in the city that I'm currently in, there's definitely ambitious people, but it's not nowhere near the level of New York City. And I feel like that push, that drive, just maybe even the rents, like most people don't even think about this, the rent being a factor, right? The higher the rent, the more productive you need to be able to afford New York City rents, to be able to afford San Francisco rent. And that push will push you to your potential. And I feel like right now, I honestly don't feel like I am at my potential. I feel like I can be doing so much more. I feel like I can be building relationships with people that have a similar values as I do. And I feel like that's really tough to find where I am right now, because it skews to much older or with family or people that aren't necessarily as career driven, as I think I should be and as I want to be. So we'll see what New York City has to offer in terms of me visiting on the weekends, or me just exploring, like maybe even on my own, or maybe going to meetups like I intended to when I moved down to the city that I'm in now, that's relatively close to New York City, about an hour's commute on train. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. And this vlog exists to keep me accountable, so you'll be hearing about it soon. And if you don't, call me out in the comments down below. Honestly, just tell me that what the hell's going on. We're expecting New York City content, or at least me filming outside of the four walls that I'm stuck here in 40 hours, 60 hours a week. So yeah, I think doing that own exploration outside of just hanging out with friends, I think will also pull me away from needing alcohol or feeling guilty for saying no. Not because I feel guilty because of towards the people, because I also realize that I do need to take care of myself, but also like feeling the loneliness of, hey, if I say no to these plans, even though they don't really align with my goals, that I won't interact with other people like outside of the gym. And I feel like that's one of the things that most people don't really talk about when they talk about, how it feels to live on your own. It's just the loneliness, not even I guess loneliness and isolation that you feel from other people. And then if you're a person that really needs someone else to push you to socialize, that you'll never do it. And I feel like we as humans, we're not naturally designed to live on our own. We're social and tribal creatures. So, the more time you spend with other people outside of, your normal day-to-day job, the better for your health, your mental well-being, and just to get readjusted. Because sometimes you're going to fail in your career. Sometimes you're going to fail in your goals. And sometimes it's okay to just hang out and just not do anything, or just laugh, or just do things that don't necessarily push you in those financial goals, career goals, and like social cohesion, like building those relationships with people. And not necessarily relationships that help you in your career or make you make money, but just to like help you live a longer, happier life, whether they be smiles or memories, or just getting a new perspective on life. Because sometimes it's super easy, especially if you're hyper ambitious, to just have the blinders and not see other perspectives. And I think that's probably detrimental to your life, to not be able to see like what life has to offer outside of what you deem to be super important. Getting different perspectives is so important, because sometimes they may change you for the better, maybe for the worse. But I think it's important to be able to see than to be blind to other possibilities. But yeah, I think, yeah, maybe you'll catch me on the next one pretty soon. I'm going to record another video. I meant to record something on Friday, but honestly, I was just so exhausted from literally the week prior. It's just been constant go, go, go. Everybody's taking time off, last end of the quarter. And, there are some deadlines that we're trying to reach. And I feel like every year, at least at work, we say there's nothing coming up, then Thanksgiving hits, and then every side project or every initiative management tries to push has to get done before, you know, everyone takes their vacations or everyone logs off for the year. And I feel like I always get stuck in the middle of it. It could be good in terms of job security, but maybe not so for my mental well-being. But you know what, I'm pushing through it. Honestly, I was able to solve some really hard problems before I logged off, because I thought I was gonna have to work the weekend and miss out on hanging out with my friends and her birthday, Marissa. And honestly, I was just so happy I was able to fix that before end of day. Then a new fire broke out this morning, and dealt with that today. And yeah, maybe you'll see my update on. I don't know when I'm gonna record the next video. Probably like Thursday or something, and have it up maybe in a day or so. Got to take some time to record and edit these VODs. But honestly, I want to change the format. I just need to get a better setup. I have my camera, but I think I had to buy an external battery, but we'll see about that. Anyways, I just want to wrap up this vlog. If you have any thoughts, or just, you know, thoughts or comments on the video, or what other content you want to see, just leave a comment down below. Smash that like button. Anyways, let me not get too meta. I'll see you guys on the next one.